Well, today we continue our important and very timely discussion about movies that feature African-American producers, actors, themes, and stories with our very own movie critic, Jim Hunter. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Angie. How are you?
I am good, and I am fascinated by the films you selected, some of my very favorites of all time. So why did you choose In the Heat of the Night? Why did you choose Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
So I chose these two films because over the course of our discussions this month, we've been trying to sort of talk about black films from different eras. And these were two of my favorite classic films starring the great Sidney Poitier. We'll start with In the Heat of the Night, which follows Virgil Tibbs. This includes the incredibly famous line, "They call me Mr. Tibbs."
Yes.
That moment is part of his discussions or his interactions with Rod Steiger's character, who's a racist police detective in the South. And the film follows these two characters as they're trying to solve a murder mystery. This film really gets at sort of the racist attitudes that some in the South had toward African Americans, and then Sidney Poitier is sort of this urbane and erudite detective who's able to rise above those prejudices. And directed by Norman Jewison, I think this is one of the best films of Sidney Poitier's career.
And he's had quite a few, but when I'm listening to you describe the movie, and of course it's been a long time since I have seen that movie, though I've seen it many times, but I am taken back into the film and the theater and remembering seeing this larger-than-life play out before me with excellent actors all the way around, and to see racism so clearly played out, it was undeniable. And it wasn't just that the bad guys and the good guys were not complex. They were complex. They weren't flat one-dimensional characters.
Exactly. Like this film, as well as Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, allow both the bad guys, the racist characters, and the good guys, the Virgil Tibbs, to explore multi-dimensions. And that's one of the great things about Rod Steiger's performance, is that he has a full character arc over the course of the movie. And I think that's one of the things that really brings that film into perspective. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is very similar, but that has to do with an interracial relationship and a white family sort of learning to accept the Sidney Poitier character as an acceptable romantic companion for their daughter. That stars Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, and features some really good performances, especially by Tracy and Poitier. Tracy gives this long monologue at the end, which is a little bit white saviory and a little little much, but overall it's still quite good performance.
Well, and it was interesting, when you reflect back on that movie, that Sidney Poitier's parents, the couple who played his parents, had pushback too. It wasn't just from the white perspective, like, how is this going to work in our world as it is? And that was a big question in my mind at that time. It really did, in these beautiful, glorious actors, laid out this situation. Like, here are two people in love, and the world as it is, will they be able to make it as a couple?
Yeah, it's 1970,
right,
and it still has some degree of resonance even today.
It truly does. Well, Jim, these have been great ones, and I thank you so much for doing the work to get these stories out and reminding me of some great Sidney Poitier movies. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. And by the way, 1967, I was wrong about that. Sorry about that.
Well, I was going to call you on it. I really wasn't. I didn't know. Thanks, Jim. We'll be back with more local lifestyles right after this. Stay with us.